Have you wondered if shit is a fan, could you fight off a lion? We'll talk about that and more while we discuss the movie The Beast. You're listening to episode 73 of our podcast. We should talk about this at work. Chad is off doing his things on vacation, enjoying his time off. I'm Matt. I'm here. I brought a couple friends with me on this podcast. Mike and Caesar. Mike, how are you doing?
Good in yourself?
I'm well. Caesar, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good over here.
That's good. I've known both of these gentlemen for a long time, so I know Caesar's been on before. This is the first time for Mike. So, Mike, what you been up to these days?
Well, I'm in the United States Navy, so I travel a lot. I'm at sea a lot. Right now, I'm currently in Italy. I'm stationed in Italy. I vacation a lot in the European area, so I've been in this area for a while.
So, how's Italy out there? How you like Italy? I mean,
For me, Italy is it's kind of like 50-50. It has its pros and cons, just like any place. It's nothing like the US. So it takes some getting used to, the culture, the upbringings and stuff like that. So it's a little different. You gotta get used to that.
give me an
I've
example.
actually always wanted to go to Europe.
Again?
Sounds really. I've always wanted to go to Europe. Sounds real interesting. It looks real pretty in the pictures, and I've always wanted to get over there, check it out, see the people.
That's like a thing that you brought up. Like Italy is very beautiful because like they have a lot of history. And so when you have a lot of history, they try to preserve it. So you have your old castles, your fortresses, old structures, anything from like bridges to guard towers to pavilions, anything like that. So when it comes to like scenic sightseeing, yes, Europe is very beautiful for that, especially the South, like Italy, Spain, France, Croatia, all that. And then they're really known for their coastlines because, like Italy specifically, you have different color houses, the Amalfi Coast. So if you're coming from a boat, you see that, you're like, oh, this is beautiful. The water's like bluish clear and everything's like eye-popping. Like basically you put like vibrant on your photos. It's like that in real life. Or if you go to somewhere like, say, Santorino, Greece, it's all white and blue. So you go on the coast, you see nothing but just white and blue houses. And, it's very beautiful. So it's basically like postcards and textbooks. You see that photo, you actually can go there and take that photo and say, hey, wow, I was there. I can do that,
And it really looks like that in real life?
For the most part, yes.
That's cool.
You said earlier that it's different than the US. So, like, give me an example how it's different.
Okay, it just hit September. So this was a big thing in Italy. In the month of August, basically everyone is on vacation, or as they call it, holiday. So the month of August, a lot of restaurants aren't open, a lot of stores are not open, a lot of services for certain common things are not open at all because they're on holiday. And so they're basically on vacation for like the whole month. So when you try to get like the most simplest things, let's say like a internet service, or you want to eat at your favorite restaurant, or you even try to meet up with your friends, everyone's on a holiday. They're somewhere else in Italy, they're somewhere else in Europe, they're in Thailand, India, somewhere where they want to go on vacation. And as an American, we don't really do that. Like, yeah, you have like your summer vacation, which is like school, or you have spring break. You have your week or whatever, 2 weeks. But we don't ever take a month off from like not working. So, it's kind of hard to adjust to and stuff.
Yeah, especially with you're talking about the grocery, not grocery stores, but the restaurants and stuff shutting down. That's like kind of unheard of here in the U.S. because like our service industry, the restaurants, like our holidays revolve around that. They extended the holiday season just for the stores.
Correct. Like you say off from stores in the US, you think of like, Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, like federal holidays, Memorial Day, Labor Day, unless you're like doing sales, you have some people who get overtime and stuff like that. here in Italy, they're just like, we don't want to work, so we're just going to close. And it seems like every 2-3 weeks they have a holiday. It feels like, I mean, like actual, like, you know, government sanctioned holiday where they're not working. So they have a mentality of like, you know, family first, take care of family and leisure time. So you find a lot, like even outside of August, you find a lot of times like, okay, we're closed on Monday. So okay, cool. But then we're working from like 8 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. We're closed for 4 hours, and then we open back up at like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 to 10 o'clock. So it's like it's a little. It takes some time to get used to. And in August, it's just like, oh, we're not even gonna be open at all. I'm on vacation, you know. So, like I said, it takes a lot of getting used to. It's different from the U.S. In other countries in Europe, it's actually pretty common for the most part, but like not as drastic. You know, it may have like, you know, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. You know, so it's a little different.
Right, because even in Japan, they have certain things where, you know, they have Golden Week and different stuff like that, to where, like you said, US, we get a day. Maybe if it's connected to the weekend, we might get the 4 day or something like that. But like in Japan, Golden Week, they had the whole week where, like you said, everybody's going on vacation and everything. So basically, like, well, the shops are still open. Like you might, the Lawsons and the convenience stores are still open. But if you're trying to do any kind of, like you said, internet or banking during that week, you're just basically fucked, because everybody's on vacation that day, or that week, I should say.
Yeah, it takes some time getting used to. I used to live in Spain. I was stationed in Spain for a while. I was in southern Spain, and they have this thing called La Feria. It's basically a week-long fair. It originated in Sevilla. You know, they come out there with the white horses, they're dressed in their white outfits, little white top hats and stuff, and they, you know, they do the whole horse riding through like the venues and stuff, and everybody's out there dancing, drinking sangria, partying and stuff like that. And it trickled down to southern Spain, you know, obviously for economic and financial reasons, you know, make more money, boost the economy, stuff like that. And from Monday to Sunday, they go from noon to like 6, 7 in the morning. And that's every day from Monday to Sunday. And then once it's over on Sunday, that Monday, everyone's off. No one's working. So it's basically like New Year's or something like that. Randomly between April and like June.
So Mike, what kind of stuff that you like better in Italy than you do in the US?
On the highways, there's no like police at all. It's all cameras, speed cameras. And they, by European law, they have to tell you like a certain like distance and point when you have a camera approaching. So you can speed literally all day. There's no cops ever on the highway. And if they are, they're not, they can't really pull you over enough unless you're like blatantly being stupid or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wonder, why is it like that though? Just so is it safer that way, that they only have it through cameras?
No, because they save money. Think about it. If you have cops on the highway, right? What do you have to do?
Got to pay them to be on the highway.
Right.
What else? And what else? Are they gonna be out there on foot?
Right. You got to pay for the vehicles and stuff.
And then how you gonna know how fast we're going?
You got to pay for that too.
Yeah, pay for the equipment. Yeah, so that you save more money just having a camera, you know, even though they don't work half the time. But yeah.
Because I based off all my foreign stuff based off movies. So when I watch movies and I see that they have those billy clubs, and like their siren is weirder, not weirder, I shouldn't say weirder. The sirens are different than the ones in the US and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
More annoying.
But also so I know you into photography and cars and stuff like that. Talk about that.
Well, I always love cars. So cars and music is always like important to me. So I decided once I was come back to Italy, like I'm in a great location, I should take advantage of it. So, you know, I do it as a hobby. Obviously I do a lot of landscape stuff, you know, the monuments and all that. But the big thing for me is like, as a car person, I like taking photos of my car in like beautiful scenic areas, like, you know, Rome, Amalfi Coast, I don't know, I went to Amsterdam, stuff like that, Belgium.
So wait, before what kind of car you got? Let the people know.
I drive a 2021 Toyota Supra 3.0 GR.
They brought
I'm
back
not
the
a car
Supers.
I'm not a car person, so I don't know if that's good or not.
It is really good. In the car community, the Supra was always like legendary, obviously because of the Fast and Furious. They helped it a lot, but the Supra has been around for decades. And it's a very good name. If you're in the car community and you know cars, say name Supra, they're like, okay, yeah, that's you're on your P's and Q's, you're good. This car is different in the sense of like there's a collaboration between Toyota and BMW. They came out with a concept for this car about a decade ago, but the problem was the cost of making a brand new car at that time would cost a lot of money for development and stuff. So they collaborated with BMW to help bring back the Supra nameplate. So this car is very similar to a BMW Z4. There's a lot of memes and jokes going around. It's BMW, blah blah blah. Don't get me wrong, the interior, 90% of it is a BMW, which is not a bad thing. And then obviously the engine was created for Toyota by BMW. So a lot of I would say like about like 70% of the car is actually a BMW, but it's tuned and modified and all the kinks are out of it by Toyota. And it's an amazing sports car. So the car community, they see one, which is rare, ooh and ah, and people like it and all that stuff.
Is it one of those cars that's available in the US?
It is, but there's not that many available to begin with. We have the most Supras in the world in the US, but the problem is like everyone wants it. So once it's gone, it's gone, and there's only a couple of hundred made a year for that market. So if you see one, it's it's rare. Unless you're in like a major city like Los Angeles, New York, or something that have car meets and all that. Here in Europe, each country besides probably Germany and the UK, you only get maybe like 50 to 75 a year. So your chances of actually ever seeing one are slim to none. Like I've gone through like 6-7 cities with this car, and I've only seen one in my whole time. So
you get a lot of attention
cool.
with that, since that's rare over there.
I do. A lot of people don't know what it is, and they come up to it and look at it, and they're like, "Oh, a Toyota, okay." And look at it, "Oh, it's a Supra," and they look at it. Oh, they didn't know like they came out with a new Supra because it's only been out for 3 years. And there's nothing like it on the road that looks like this. So they see it, they ooh and ah, they take photos, they take videos, they ask me questions.
Wait, do they ask permission before they take photos and pictures?
I don't mind. I mean, it's not against the law. If they want to take a photo of a car, I don't really care. Like one day I had a guy, he was on like, I guess it was like Instagram Live or Facebook Live, and he was like filming himself with my car behind it. It was like, I guess like, oh my God, I finally seen this. And because you only see this car in video games or in magazines or something like that, or a review. So actually seeing it in person is basically like seeing like, a brand new Ferrari. Like, oh my God, obviously it's a quarter of the price. But saying like, reaction, like, oh my God, I see this. It's in the movies, Fast and Furious. Oh, is it Need for Speed? Is it Gran Turismo? Oh my God, so they go there. The guy was like live streaming the car behind him for like 10 minutes. And I'm just sitting here at the fountain with my friend. We're just laughing. Like, it's pretty cool though. Like it's a very humbling experience. Like, you have something that people appreciate, and here in Italy, they're real big on cars, whether it be ship boxes like Fiats and Abras, because, that's what they afford. Or you have your high-end cars like your Ferraris and Lambos and Quattrofoles and stuff like that. So you see a car like this, and it's competing with cars like looks and exposure and attention of a car that costs $200,000. It's a good feeling.
What's the price tag on one of those?
I bought this car for $55,000 when it came out February last year. Right now, because inflation and all that, you're probably going to be paying at least $70 for it. And then here in Europe, they have two different models. You have the 2.0 engine and the 3.0 engine. The cost of the 2.0 engine is the same price as the one in America, €55,000 plus taxes, which would be like about 65. So if you want to buy a 3.0 in Italy, now you're gonna be paying almost 90,000 euro, which is almost the same as American dollars right now. So it's just crazy.
Wow. So also using you're into photography, right?
Yes, I am.
So how did you get into that?
I've always liked taking photos. I mean, everyone does. Everyone likes to take something beautiful. You see something beautiful or something eye-catching, you want to take a photo of it. For me, I enjoy like my car. I'm not being like self-absorbed or like that, but like seeing my car behind like say these beautiful buildings, beautiful sunset, sunrise, behind this iconic bridge, behind this racetrack, stuff like that. So seeing that, I always like photography. I do a lot of like photos of my car, and I also do a lot of random females on my car. I don't do models. I do like regular everyday people. I see a beautiful female. Hey, you're gorgeous. I like your look. Would you like to do the photo shoot with my car? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. Blah 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 blah. And I take the
that
photos
works
out.
for you. And that works.
Let's just say I'm unlocking their potential because like these people are very shy. They're very, I wouldn't say humble, but like they don't know their potential and stuff. So they're like, no, I'm not pretty. There's other pretty women out there. I'm like, listen, you have this seductive look, certain angles, the clothing, the hair. I would like to, take photos of you with the car. And my success rate, I probably say about 15% of the time, but
15 or 50?
15.
Yeah, it's a numbers game.
But I don't know. Like on my Instagram page, you'll see like I post a lot of photos, obviously on my car page of me. Well, not really me, but my car. And then I have like random females on my car. But like, oh, these are models. Like, no, these are everyday people on the street, and I'm making them look fabulous because obviously, me taking a photo, that's the hard part. Is taking the actual good photo, the angles and all that, and editing and making them look like $1,000,000, and then doing that and get the word out. Like, oh my God, these photos are beautiful. I want to do the same thing, and rinse and repeat. I'm getting my exposure out there as a photographer, especially out here in Italy. Like, there's a lot of photographers, but they charge money. I do it as a hobby. So if you need photos or videos or anything, I'm the guy you want to go to. So a lot of the car meets and events and stuff, I go out there, I take the photos, and they love it, and that's how I get more. I want to say clients. I'm not really charging them. But to build my portfolio, I get more women, more cars, more guys coming to meets and stuff, exposure, things like that.
Oh no, I see it because I see on your Instagram like when you post cars, I just swipe past that shit. I don't care. But then you had some girls on there, and I was like, oh, let me zoom in. What he got going on over there?
Checks out, right?
So Caesar, what you got going on?
For me, life's been actually up in the air lately. As of right now, I'm in the process of moving. I just I'm purchasing a new house. Close on the 22nd of this month. It's going to be great.
All right, congrats.
Thank you. I'm downsizing. Just because right now I got a house that's way too large for me, and I'm getting a little something smaller since it's just me. But I'm draining my entire 401k to transition into real estate investment. I just started. I've been following for years different podcasts on financial literacy and learning about different ways of retiring yourself early. Like, I don't want to be 65 still working at a job. I don't want to be hitting them bricks for ever. I want to be able to enjoy my golden years. So after doing my research, I finally decided to pull the trigger, drain my 401k, and going to be taking that and looking into more investment real estate. I'm going to keep my current home, and I found out about a website called furnishfinders.com. Now, furnishfinders.com is dedicated towards, it's like Airbnb, but for business professionals. Professionals, they cater to the traveling nurses, the other like if you're a businessman out and coming to a certain city for a short time, just a month or two for business meetings or for certain projects. So I'm going to be renting out my current house and move to my next place. I'm planning to rent out each room individually, and I'm from what I'm looking at, from what my research shows me, I'll be able to get about $800 to $1,000 per room, and I got a 4-bedroom house, so sounds kind of interesting.
Right. So it's kind of going to be kind of like I know they have those in Europe where it's like what they call it like flats or suite, like hostels type of thing where you have you're paying for the room, but then the whole house is like basically like community stuff or whatever. You have other people there,
common areas.
Okay,
right. everywhere, like I said, in Europe. But when you say a hostel, it's more like an apartment building, and everyone has like an open bay area. You've been in the military, so imagine being in like boot camp, something like that, and everyone shares that one bathroom. A lot of it is like that. Now, what Andre is talking about is like an Airbnb. Now, here in Italy, I know they have Airbnb, right? They have a apartment, which is called a flat, and it has 3 rooms. So let's say the owners live in 2 rooms. They got one, and their kid got the other one. They will rent out that other room in the house, or if they actually own a house, they'll rent out like all the rooms individually and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that's the general idea, is renting out each individual room, and they're fairly large sized rooms. So, because I got 2 of the 4 bedrooms are master bedroom size. They have their own bathroom. So 4 bedroom, 3 bath. So for the bigger rooms, I'll be able to rent for a higher amount, hopefully.
So you're gonna rent out the room I stayed in?
Absolutely. You stayed upstairs, right? In the upstairs bedroom?
No, I stayed downstairs.
Oh yeah,
by the master bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah. So those 2 rooms that they share a bathroom, those will be the ones that rent for a lesser amount. The one upstairs, which is the second master bedroom, and the master bedroom downstairs, both have their own individual bathrooms. So I'll be renting those for a higher amount.
Oh no, I mean I can see it because you still got you still got the pool, you still got your large living room and everything. So yeah, I think you make money off that. Yeah, if you're doing it that way. I never thought about like like when I see all this stuff that people are doing now, Airbnbs came out. Then you had I don't know the name of what's the thing where you rent your car out?
Turo.
Yeah, Turo and all this other stuff that you can do now. It's like it sounds simple when you think about it, but it's like I never once thought about. You know what I should do? I should just rent my car out, let other people drive my car. But hey, whatever way to make money, people are gonna figure it out.
Man, and I really appreciate the way the internet has opened up the world of financial literacy, learning the things that people are doing all over. It's really helpful. Really helpful. It opens the door for that early retirement. We don't have to go out there and punch a clock every day.
Right. Because I know when you were doing your apartment, when you had your apartment and you was doing that stuff, I was talking to my friend back home, and then he got into wholesale real estate, and he started doing that and everything. So yeah, like you said, the information is out there. It's just stuff for you to find it, learn it, and put it into practice.
Absolutely.
So you were saying something earlier. Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I did have, exactly. I wanted to have a conversation. I had a question for you fellas, right? And for the listeners out there also. I'd like some feedback on this. As Black gentlemen, right? Everybody's got a different degree of color to them. How do you guys feel about exclusively Black situations? And when I say exclusively Black, I mean like whether it's a nightclub where Mike, I know you're light skinned also, whether it's a nightclub or even just a groups like Facebook groups or something like that, where you feel like there's nothing but Black people in here, and if like a white person would not be invited, or anybody of another color would not be invited.
All right, so right off the bat, I thought about social media. Yeah, so I'm in like what they call blurred Facebook groups, Black nerd Facebook groups and things like that. So you see a lot of Black people doing nerd stuff, anime, cosplay, things like that. But then when you go and you make the bridge where you're like, oh, we're gonna have a nightclub, but only Black people in it. I understand what you're trying to do, but I'm like, it's a tough situation because then I understand you would like to be comfortable with your people and things like that and stuff like that. But then once you start like publicly saying, oh, this race or these people can't come in, then it gets into a whole nother thing.
Absolutely. So the reason I brought it up is because I was recently invited to a Facebook group, and I don't remember the name of the Facebook group, but it had some questions, and there were some questions that you have to answer in order to be invited to the group. Like there's like gatekeeper questions, and the questions are the first question is say it loud, and then you have to
I'm
write
black
your
and I'm
answer.
proud.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. All right. Next question is, how long did Sophia have to fight?
She had to fight all her life.
All her life, right? All my life.
Right. All
And
her
then
life.
yeah. So, and the last question is, are you black?
Oh.
So if you can't answer all three of these questions, you're not invited to the group. Now, off the top of my head, immediately when I read these questions, me being as light skinned as I am, and like for the listeners out there, I am light, bright, and nearly white, as my mama used to like to say, right? I am racially ambiguous. You can't tell just by looking at me immediately what race I am. I mean, I got the big nose, big lips, my skin tone. Like every other day in the summertime, I got a white person saying, "Hey, I'm darker than you are." But so immediately, I felt like this is like when you start to exclude other races, I feel like they try to exclude me. You know.
Mm-hmm. And also specifically with those, that's not a black thing. That's more of a you need to know this information. So, for example, like a 25-year-old might not know, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, like some James Brown
Yeah.
stuff. So they might not know the answer to that, or like those
Yeah.
questions they ask. So that's nothing to do with race. Or on the flip side, you might have a Hispanic person or a white person who will know the answers to that. So no, I agree with you where it's like, if you want to have a majority of a black situation, which is perfectly fine, but you shouldn't exclude, because what they say, you also need allies and everything
Absolutely.
that you do. So even if it is like, maybe you just have somebody who another race wants to learn some stuff, and you're able to teach them and things like that. So you shouldn't exclude a race you can't do here just because you're not the same color or whatever like that. But I
No,
understand also having a what they feel is a safe place where, you know, in the percent, you're not figuring like, I'm not going to be ridiculed or I have to worry about any kind of other stuff like that with it. So you figure like, if I'm with all black people, then I'm in my safe zone. I understand that too.
No, absolutely. I completely understand the idea of a safe space to be black. You know, like it's
Right.
okay to be black, tell the black jokes. But so Facebook gave me a little preview of the inside of the group, and one of the first posts that I happened to come across was from from the admins of the group, and it says, "To my non-black members, welcome. Introduce yourselves and make yourself at home. Quick question: what can we, the admins and moderators, do to make this group more comfortable and safe for you?" And the idea being, you know, post under here, you know, let us know. But the thing about it is, it's a joke post that is used to weed out non-black members. As a matter of fact, in the bottom of it, like there's nothing but smiley faces and laughing emojis on it, and gifs that have people like with the eye emojis, you know, looking around like where the white folks at, you know.
Right.
And there's people making jokes about, oh, we got them, get them out of here, and they a literal witch hunt for non-black folks. And like people went through the members list and screenshotted pictures of people that were not black in the and put them in the chat. And so with me being as light skinned as I am, if you just look at my picture, your first thought is, I'm gonna screenshot this guy and he's gonna be not, and all of a sudden he's kicked from the group. Like, what is that? What are we doing as black folks with that?
Right. All right. So Mike, what's your thoughts about this situation?
Me personally, I'm not a big fan of like segregation, dividing type things. Like I'm very active on Instagram. So you have like these pages and accounts are like, oh, black models, oh, black car owners or black owners. I get that empowerment and seclusion type thing for that kind of stuff. Me personally, I'm all about equal opportunity. I don't know. I've always been like that. It had nothing to do with the military. It's just common sense because everybody wants to be treated equal, right? Everybody wants to be on the same playground and everything. So for me, I'm not a big fan of stuff like that, and I frown upon it. Like I do not like it at all. Yeah, it's cool to have like a little niche stuff here and there, but generally speaking, for me, I'm not a big fan of that because one, I don't feel like you should have seclusion stuff like that, like black this, black that. I get the whole proud, and I know like there's moments we got united together because like bad things that happen, but it happens on both sides of the playing field. I just believe like everything should just be open and everyone's included and knowledge is spread and education and learning and stuff like that. That's how I feel.
Well, I mean, I get in a sense to where like the reason why you need to say like black podcasters or black whatever is because they're not getting the same attention as like if you were like, oh yeah, just car owners or whatever like that, they're not getting the same attention as their other counterparts. So then now they gotta say, hey, I am a black car owner, I am a black podcast, or to get the attention that they should be getting. Like even for this podcast, like we got nominated for an award. We weren't nominated for best podcast. We weren't nominated for the funniest podcast. We were nominated for the best black hosted podcast. So now we're getting the not attention, but we're getting the notarized or whatever like that because we are a black hosted podcast. So understand about sometimes you do have to break it down like that to be able to get it. But also it's not just like regular podcasts and then black. They do have female, LGBT, like they do break it down in multiple categories. So I guess so instead of just lumping it up in one thing, so everybody can get a little piece of the pie too.
I guess they want everybody included. That's what it is. Like right. I want to say we want to give everyone a trophy, but they're trying to make sure like, okay, we can't just have best this category because this group's always going to win. They have to try to include everybody, which I think is okay. But at the end of the day, we're all the same thing. You don't need to have different categories for like different folks. I don't agree with that. I get it sometimes, but it shouldn't be allowed. Like in this day and age, everybody wants to cry equal opportunity, i.e., male and female. You're a female, you'll get paid the same as me as a male, whether black or white, but you're not doing the same job as me. So why you want to get the same recognition and pay as me? Like that's the thing that's going on now. It's a whole equal opportunity like that, Black basketball players, 90% of NBA is black. Okay, this guy is a phenomenal athlete. He's getting paid $80 million, whatever. This white guy can shoot threes and he's clutch and whatever, but he only gets paid 12 million because like he's not in the same playing field as this superstar black dude, but he's like just as valuable, So I get the whole certain groups and niches you have it, but the categories and all that, I can't agree with that. I'm not a fan of that.
I'd say I do agree with needing, like, especially when it comes to awards and stuff like that, more categories like that, like best black podcast, just for the simple fact of like what percentage of the number of podcasts out there are black, and when you put them up against the, like, let's just say it's 95% white, so if you only got this small 5% that is black, it's such a I mean, we are minorities, bro. You know what I'm saying? We are minorities. So in order to get that notoriety, in order to get seen, they do have to make that separate, take that extra step to add it to add us in, to get the recognition. Because otherwise we get lost in the sauce. If you just throw it in the big jumble and shake it up, like there's not enough out there. So for the podcast, like Chad and Matt's podcast, you would need to differentiate yourself. They need those separate categories. If that makes sense.
No, it does. So I guess so now the final thought is, so you joined that group, right?
No. I don't like it. I don't like especially when I saw that one post with the that was when they were on a witch hunt looking for non-black members. I mean, I seen a little Asian girl in the group, in one of those pictures, screenshots. I'm like, why are we excluding our allies? Like you said,
right.
Like why are we? It's cool to say this is a black nerd group. That's beautiful. What's wrong with having other nerds also be involved in that group?
Right, because the thing is, like, the groups that I'm in, if for those black nerd groups, they're not excluding other people for doing it, and other people can post and stuff like that. But it was like, I guess the original intent was, all right, we want something, so that we post stuff where you feel comfortable. Because think about, like, even now, like, I don't know how much of a fan you guys are of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Now, I've seen Lord of the Rings, never seen Game of Thrones, but from what I'm seeing is, like, I guess these new series, people are upset that, I guess, certain people are casted as black actors, right? And the fans are upset that they're black actors instead of whatever the book or whatever the shit was. So now you have people who are acceptable. So, like, for example, if a black woman wants to cosplay as Starfire or something like that, you ain't got to worry about somebody be like, oh no, Starfire is white or some shit like that. They can cosplay as whatever they want to cosplay as, and everything will be good.
Yeah, like the new Little Mermaid, Ariel's black.
Right. I'll touch on that a little bit later. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, one of the most famous examples of that is Nick Fury. I'm a big Marvel guy. So when Nick Fury originally came out, he was white, eye patch, all that, whatever. But he was a Caucasian guy.
Mm-hmm.
And in later years, in the comics, he became a bald-headed black guy. So you can do both of them. It just, I guess people are just getting with the times and trying to, like, I guess, reach a certain demographic, or just having, I guess, a refresh look, a refresh, like, background and story. I mean, it can go both ways. Me personally, I can understand why some people don't like certain adaptations that are changed, because, like, I'm a true comic fan. For example, let's say I'm a big Wolverine fan, which I absolutely fucking hate. Let's say they cast Wolverine as a black guy. I'm pretty sure people are going to be upset about that, because you always see him as, like, some crazy feral Canadian dude, white dude, like, going ape shit on stuff. I don't want him to be black. Not that I'm racist or I'm against black people. It's just a different, like, it's not true to the adaptation of where it's coming from. It's like you're putting the whole spin on it. Actually, I thought of it. The perfect example is the new what is it called? Oh my god, TV show. Fresh Savage. What was that?
Wonder Years.
Fresh Savage. Wonder Years. That's Wonder Years is all black family now.
Right, I saw that.
So it's like me growing up, I watched the Wonder Years. I'm like, wait, they're black now? Now I can't get mad, because, like, Fresh Savage is actually the executive producer. He wanted it to be like that. It was something fresh. It was something new. It's one of the hottest shows that was on TV. It was actually getting up for awards and stuff like that. So, but for me, it's like, when you say Wonder Years, I'm like, it was a white family. Okay, I get the whole black thing, but then if you do a reverse, let's say they did Family Matters, they did an all white family. Oh my god, people be rioting and it'll be canceled in, like, half the season. So adaptation. Me personally,
Right, because like, imagine if they did a white version of Good Times.
Right, or a white version of Fresh Prince or something. But I think it's more, if it's black to white, there's more of a backlash. Where if it's the other way around, you might have a certain backlash depending on, like, how severe or how bad it is.
Right. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, when they change things, all right, I get to it now. So Disney had their D23 showcase where they show what's coming out in the future and things like that. So one of the thing is, they coming out with the Little Mermaid with Halle Bailey and and they was all upset that she's black or whatever. Now, of course, we all grew up with Little Mermaid, white girl, red hair, right? Excuse me, white mermaid, red hair. I'm like, I don't care. It's not like I'd be hidden for Little Mermaid stuff anyway. So even when they show the trailer for this and everything, and she can sing in real life and things like that, I'm just like, I'm still not checking for, like, this is not my demographic. This is not for me. But some stuff, I'm like, I'm not used to that. But it's not like I'm gonna be out there hating some stuff, because just because it's different, this could be better. Even though this is not what you're used to, things could be like, once you watch this or whatever it is, even though it's different, this could be the best shit ever. Because then I always go back, whenever I talk about this, people not liking stuff before it comes out, I always go back to Heath Ledger as a Joker. When Heath Ledger was casted, people were shitting all over that, about how he can't play the Joker, this, and that. But then when he did it, the shit was fucking amazing. So I understand if you're like, oh, this is not what I'm used to. And I go up to the example like that you brought up with Wolverine. So say Idris Elba was cast to play. Oh no, perfect example. Say Idris Elba was cast to play James Bond, because there's been talks about that. Sure, there's gonna be people like, oh, he shouldn't play James Bond, but chill out, relax, wait till it comes out. He might be phenomenal in it. And if he's trash or whatever like that, then we can address it then. Wait till it comes out. That's how my thing is. Like, there's sometimes where like something comes out and I'm like, I'm not sure about this. But I'll wait to see what happens when it comes out.
Hey, side note, I actually think Idris Elba would make an excellent Wolverine, though. He's a good actor, bro. He's an amazing actor, and I can see him growling. He did Cats. You ever seen Cats with Idris Elba?
No, I hate musicals.
I can see that happening.
But also another thing, I only know it was a lot of stuff they put out, but also they have Inside Out 2. You guys familiar with that movie?
Yes.
They have that coming out. Also, Walt Disney is partnering with outside studios, and it's the first time that they've collaborated with an outside studio in 100 years. And it's called, I'm gonna butcher this fucking name, Iwaju, Iwaju, and it's an animated series set in Africa. And basically, the project is described as a love letter to Nigeria, with the intent of showing why Lagos is one of the most unique cities in the world. So it's a lot of not anime. It's a lot of cartoons, animation stuff coming out. They have trailers coming out. They're coming out with a Mufasa movie, a prequel.
Ooh.
Okay, this is another thing. When they come up with stuff like this, I'm like, who asked for this? Are you guys want to see a prequel to for Mufasa? You guys here for that?
I'm actually there for that. Just because of the different personality of like who Mufasa was. You know what I'm saying? I imagine, like, I don't want to see them make Mufasa into I just can't wait to be king. You know what I'm saying? That young Simba, because Simba was a happy-go-lucky hippie just running around, right? He was doing the hippie thing. I want to see that Mufasa, who was earnestly striving to fill his father's footsteps. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just imagining in my head, right? Like a young teenage Mufasa working so hard to fill his father's footsteps, but it's not working. He's failing. You know what I'm saying? And then that's the struggle from there that turns him into the real king he is.
Kind of similar. Apparently, he was like an orphan or something like that, and then he made his way up into becoming king.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And talked about my anime journey. So I know you guys watch anime, so I'm on my Naruto journey, and also my Dragon Ball Z journey. Do you guys? I don't want to get in where I'm at, because I'm still at the beginning. But have you guys been watching any anime lately?
Right now, for me, I like so all I watch is anime, honestly. Well, not when it comes to movies, but when it comes to TV shows, like I rarely watch anything on Hulu, Netflix, or anything like that. I watch all my Marvel shows. I might catch one or two of the like the Game of Thrones. I'm watching Game of Thrones. Or excuse me, House of Dragon. But so right now I'm watching Overlord, which is streaming at the moment over in Japan. So I'm waiting every week for a new episode to come out.
Oh,
That's a good one.
okay. Mike, you be watching any anime lately?
I have not watched anime in like 4 or 5 years. I think the last time I actually sat down and watched anime religiously was basically when Bleach was like still in production in Japan. I know they have a new one coming out. I don't know how I feel about that. Then like continue the story. But I will look forward to that once it's out. If it's out, I'm not sure. But yeah, I've been out of sync for anime for a while.
Yeah, Bleach actually comes out later on this year sometime. One of my favorite animes right there. That's my classic go-to. Is the first one I ever watched that was like a thousand episodes long. Super excited for the new tellings because I know they had the manga. The manga went on for years after the anime stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if you know, like I've never watched anime. The first anime I've watched all the way through was because of you, Caesar. Was One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And then once I watched all of that, I was like, oh, this might be a thing that I'm into. They end up coming to Japan and dove into One Piece, and now I'm all about anime now.
One Piece, that's gonna take you years to finish.
Well, yeah, I think I'm like 1017, and right now they're at 1020, like 28, 29, something like that. So it's ongoing. So I'm almost there.
Man, I have a hard time because I never watched One Piece. I tried to watch One Piece, but because I caught it, like I got into like I tried to start watching it and it was already on episode like 800, right?
Uh-huh.
So I tried to start from the beginning, but the early animation is just it was so crappy. The early animation on it was just so crappy. I just couldn't. I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't watch it.
I completely agree because even stateside, like if you watch early King of the Hill or early Simpsons, that shit is trash.
I think it's so yeah.
All right, y'all ready? Let's dive into the movie discussion.
All right.
I've never seen anything like this. Multiple attacks without eating its prey. Lions don't do that. At least no lion I've ever seen. Go back to the calls.
Jack, please!
A father and his two teenage daughters find themselves hunted by a massive rogue lion intent on proving that the savannah has but one apex predator. All right, Mike, this is your first time here. What was your thoughts about the movie Beast?
I'll be honest with you, I have not watched a single movie in almost a year and a half. I have no idea what that title is. You described something I have no idea about. Yeah, I'm not going like fake the funk. I have no idea.
So when we was talking about this movie, and this is a movie podcast, and you okay. Caesar, so you're a returning guest. So what was your thoughts about the movie Beast?
All right. So I was actually excited to watch this one because I'm an Idris Elba fan. It was a slow startup. It was a slow startup to the movie. I actually got really upset with the children. Like, I mean, I love kids. I've always been Uncle Andre. I don't have any kids of my own, but I love kids and kids love me, Trick love the kids. So these kids was just like, was really upset. The daughters was talking back. You in the middle of Africa in a safari and you're gonna wander off in an empty village? Like you're gonna wander off? Like, come on now. This y'all doing too much. And even in the middle of getting attacked by a lion, you're stuck inside this van, or excuse me, this SUV style truck, and you got somebody dying in the back seat, and the daughter want to bring up old shit like, don't make promises you can't keep. Like, don't fucking talk to me while I'm in the middle of getting killed by a lion.
I didn't like that either. I liked how I didn't like how she kept bring it, like she kept bringing it up like she's protecting her little sister, but it felt like more that she was using that excuse and she was really hurt herself. But like you said, this lion is attacking us. We almost about to die. Why are you bringing this stuff up about marriage or like some old stuff? You trying to live to see the next morning. Why are you bringing this up right now?
It felt forced, honestly.
Right.
Like it felt
Like
very, very much forced.
The beginning when they was at the dinner, all right, I can get that. They was talking about that stuff, but I'm like, you in the middle of, you might be dying. Why would you bring this up right now? Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, like why'd the daughter get out the car? When he's on the roof looking for the lion, to shoot the lion. She gets out of the car and starts, I'm gonna go get Uncle Hank or whatever the guy's name was. Like, bro, like what are you doing?
Right.
Like,
I agree.
Overall, it was a good movie. I didn't understand the need. Like, there's a lot of stuff that was forced in this movie. Like the need for the not flashbacks, but the visions in his dreams.
Right.
You know, I didn't understand the need of seeing these. Yes, I understand his ex-wife who passed away. She's of African descent. Why are you having these visions? It didn't fit into the movie. It didn't fit into the theatrics of the movie. You know, so there's a lot of stuff that didn't make sense for me. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably would give it a 4. And every one of those 4 points would be Idris Elba. I didn't like the movie.
I pointed out everything. Like, I didn't care for the daughter and stuff, but overall, I enjoyed it. I agree with what you said, because you could take everything out about the mother, or his wife and everything else like that, and the movie will still make sense. So it's like they didn't really need that in there. I guess that was a reason for them to go to Africa, but you could have just went like, oh, like they said, he used to be in Africa, or he used to live there. We're going there, and the plot will stay the same, except for the little parts where, you know, his daughter was arguing or whatever, because the main story was about the lion and everything else like that. But no, I enjoyed this movie. I'm not gonna lie, even with those stuff in there, there was plenty of times where I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like when the daughter tranked the lion, he started walking away, and then like they're like, oh, he's gonna be out for a couple hours, let's go. And they like started to get out the car. I'm like, what are you doing? He's about to be out for a little bit. Go out there, smash his eyes in, smash his brains in, do something, or he's gonna come back and stuff like it was stuff like that where I was doing what I was saying, talking through the movie.
Yeah, there was a bunch of times when they're like sitting next to that broken window, and I'm like, that don't make sense. Like, what the fuck?
You know the window's open. You know the window's open. But I still enjoyed it. Like, I was still one thing I wish like at the end, towards where he brought the lion towards the other pride and those two male lions fought him, I kind of wish I would have saw them kill him.
Oh yeah, he died off screen. That's right.
Right. Yeah, they just showed him, and they showed the help, the rancher, not the ranchers, but the people helping him. But like, also another thing I didn't like, he didn't have enough bruises on him when that lion was eating Idris Elba, and he was tossing him around, and he was getting rocked. He didn't have enough scratches and everything else. Like, I wish that he would have more deep cuts and everything else like that to make it seem like this lion was really fucking him up. But I guess that's me nitpicking. But I enjoyed this movie though. I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna
but I felt the same. I felt the same way when I watched that scene where he's fighting the lion off. Like, he should have been like ripped to shreds. You know.
Right. There should be like some deep tissue stuff and everything else like that. Like even if his boy, the uncle, was like, "Oh, my legs ripped to shreds" or whatever like that. It should be something like that to where once he was in the hospital, he just had some scratches that was caught on there. He had bruising, but no, that lion was fucking him up.
So as a cat owner, I did enjoy the fact that the two male lions at the end, when before they went to attack the lion for being there, they just sat there and watched. It's very much a cat thing to do. They just sat there and watched. They was like, what you doing?
Right.
What you doing? Like, you ain't supposed to be here. Okay, we're gonna come get you.
Right. So overall, I enjoyed it. I was trying to do, normally we do trivia game on here. Trivia was slim pickings. So first things first, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes was for this movie, for the audience score?
Audience.
All right, Mike, I know you didn't see the movie. We gave you our thoughts on it. So after information you heard, what do you think the audience score was for this movie for Rotten Tomatoes?
This is like out of 10 or something. I'm not very familiar with Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it's out of percentage. It's
He said Rotten Potatoes.
Rotten.
Yeah.
It's the highest. The higher the percentage, the better the movie is.
100% is the highest.
Yeah.
I'll say 76.
Okay.
I say, just from my own personal opinion, 54.
All right. The tomato meter was 68%, but the audience score was 77%.
That's for Idris Elba.
Mm.
It's probably all the housewives out there.
The only trivia I got is first things first, Idris Elba's actual daughter applied for this movie, or was not applied, but auditioned for this movie, and she did not get the part because he felt like they didn't have the chemistry. So yeah, but that's so good because then nepotism. He didn't just pick his daughter just because that was actually the daughter. He actually had her audition and everything else like that, and they didn't have the chemistry.
Okay.
I'm
sorry to interrupt, but I actually just realized another reason why I didn't like this movie.
And why is that?
This movie's been done before, or this scenario. If you take out the wife and kids, it's the new smart predator. Ghost in the Darkness, #1, obvious. You ever seen that one? Ghost in the Darkness had Val Kilmer, and it was two lions that were two man-eating lions in the day and age of the railroads, when they were building the railroads through Africa. I believe that's what they were doing, was building the railroads. You got that. What's that movie with LL Cool J?
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. Thank you. So for me, it's like I've already seen this movie before without seeing this movie before.
Right.
So it's like you got to give me something more, and your kids did not give me anything more. Your bad kids did not feed me what I was looking for in a good movie.
Right. I mean, because you think we have shark movies, we've had anacondas, we've had wolves. Like we've had different movies. So they got to keep that. They need to keep. They showed in the movie, they showed hippos. Let's have a hippo movie. Let's have some hippos doing some things. Call it Hungry Hippos.
Or Lake Placid. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, Let's sing Lake Placid. Yeah. So I mean, I guess they're just trying to. What's another predator?
Jaws, the one that started it all, right?
Right. Or speaking of predator, like how did you see Prey?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, basically, you have a Native American woman and blah blah blah. She ends up killing Predator, but basically she was able to use the environment and X, Y, and Z like that.
Wait, she killed the Predator? You done ruined the movie for me.
No, it's still amazing. You should go see it no matter what. It's still amazing. Yeah. But then she but kind of like with this one where like he only survived because he brought the lion to the other pride, so he used the environment too. So it's kind of like that type of thing. So, but no, honestly, like you should like, even though I told you that part, definitely go see Prey. Prey is a great movie, amazing.
That's on Hulu, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And the only trivia I got, it says after everyone's arrival at the house compound and getting settled in, the character Meredith Samuel is wearing a black Jurassic Park t-shirt. It's obviously a tongue-in-cheek nod to both films having essentially the same plot: humans foraging and faithfully coming into a dangerous animals realm and dropping severing notches into the food chain. Also, Idris Elba also played a doctor trying to survive in the wilderness in the mountain between us. So that's all I got for that. That's it. I want to say thank you guys both for being on. Mike, you want to plug any your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Sure. If you're into like seeing a lot of ass on cars, I'm just kidding. A lot of like beautiful photography of cars, like Europe and stuff like that. You can follow my car page on Instagram if you want. It's MR Type 90, so MRTYPE and number 9 and the 0. You can go in there. It's not public. You can look at stuff if you like it. Follow. It's like it. There's good content there. A lot of funny reels and all that.
Okay. Caesar, you got anything to plug before we get out of here?
Oh, not at the moment, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weshouldtalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Should Talk About This at Work. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at We Should Talk Pod. Join us next week for... Honestly, I have no idea what the fuck we should do it next week. Just come back. We're going to have some fun. I don't know what's going on. We have a good time. And like always, I don't know if this is a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.